Why are you posterizing my dubs on Fox News? It's correct. That is objectively correct. There is no lie told there. You cannot look at the numbers on the board and act like I'm saying anything that is false here. Anyway, we'll do a Fox News compy, but we'll get started. I guess we'll get started on the cheerleading for terrorism. Twitch star called for a new 9/11, dismissed horror of October 7. Hasan Piker, a far-left Twitch streamer, broadcast propaganda to millions of his impressionable fans. By Andrea Margolis. Now, yeah, they want 9/11 too, baby. Now, I knew that they were gonna. I knew that they were gearing up for this idiotic hit piece a while back. She did reach out for comment. My comment is in the article. It's just all the way in the bottom of the article. Okay, like they put my response at the bottom of the article, which is pretty funny. After pumping it full of like ridiculous nonsense. But I look, this is fair and balanced. Okay, Fox News, best in journalism, best use of journalism out there. Doing a hit piece like this, doing a cancel culture hit piece like this is really funny. Are you worried about going to jail? Maybe. My parents saw the article and questioned what I watched. Since I've brought you up to them, they were concerned. Your parents watch and read Fox News. You should be more they should be concerned about their media diet if they're taking something that is written on foxnews.com seriously. Is that surprising to you? Not. LMFAO just at my dad. Yeah, your parents have a lot larger problems to worry about if they're mainlining Fox News, baby. Not gonna lie. In any case, yeah, related clip from last night with Dr. Mike. Yeah, here is Dr. Mike Israel's assessment of the one article that he read about me being anti-Semitic. Let's take a look. Like you have editorial control over it, right? Like I'm live for 8 hours a day, talking about hot button issues, political stuff. So a lot can be misconstrued purposefully, and things get clipped out of context deliberately. So there's like the good and the bad. You know what I mean?
I read an article about you recently that like you're an anti-Semite or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was one of those articles where like the longer I read, the more I wanted to break my phone open because I was like. Quoted a quote of some guy's tweet who alleged some very vague generality.
Yeah, it's
like
ridiculous.
Of a guy that you were on a panel with, and the guy said some funny jokes, and that guy was actually Jewish, and I was like, I'm not reading this shit anymore.
Yeah.
It was a classic example of like, just take as much as you can out of context as possible. It was just like,
yeah.
I'm sure you see a lot
stuff
of
like yeah, of course. That stuff like that happens all the time, especially in political stuff.
Oh,
it's like
God.
Because people have like an ideological perspective.
They already hate you.
They're already primed. Yeah, that's like what normal people who already have like a healthy working distaste have when they are encountering yet another one of these like think pieces. Okay? Just remember that. Like there are a lot of people out there who just like look to these articles and go, I don't really know what the yeah, this seems like a whole bunch of nothing. But real American patriots are going to get mad. If this makes its way to like actual Fox News editorial stuff, then it's a problem. But if it's as long as it just stays on the digital platform, it is what it is. If it gets onto the editorial side, then like, yeah, conservatives will come up my ass again, over and over again, trying to kill me. But overall, this is slander you should sue. That's not how this works, man. Let's take a look. I read the article this morning. I loved it personally, but I'm sure a lot of people will be like, see, even Fox News understands the situation. Okay. All right. First on Fox. A popular Amazon-owned video platform geared towards teenagers and young adults is filled with extremist content, including one of its biggest stars praising terrorist groups and even blithely calling for another 9/11 to his 2.9 million strong audience, according to a Fox News digital review. Okay, what is this? They hyperlinked 9/11. Hey guys, if you don't know what 9/11 is, okay. Hasan Piker, who has millions of followers on Twitch, has broadcast propaganda from Yemen's Houthis, framed violent terrorist acts as resistance, expressed sympathy for extremist groups who target civilians, and downplayed the October 7 attacks against Jews in Israel. Piker's shocking diatribes are among the most popular on the video game streaming platform, which allows viewers to listen to their favorite personalities opine on topics ranging from pop culture to current events while playing video games. It doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7, Piker said in a May 22nd stream. It doesn't change the dynamic of Palestinians and Israelis for me. I wonder what I was saying there. Oh, that's right. I was talking to a random person who was saying that rapes did not actually take place on October 7, and I was telling them, no, there is a likelihood that they did, but that doesn't justify genocide. But of course, if you try to massage it in this way, all of a sudden, you can maybe try to reframe the conversation. Okay? So, that's number one. And I mean, I can show video clips of all of this stuff and talk through it piece by piece. And I feel like we will, I feel like I'll make a YouTube video out of this eventually. But starting off, does anyone have the video? Because that responding to Richie Torres, because this was originally posted by Richie Torres, a 17-second clip that they used. They put the clips in the article. You don't need to look them up. No, I'm not talking about just the clip in the article. I'm talking about like the actual longer explanation. Guys, stop sending me the video on the Fox News website. I know what their clip chimps are. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a specific. Oh, here it is. Okay, here's the context. By the way, none of which justifies Israel's actions. So it doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. Wow, I wonder why they clipped the beginning. Okay, this doesn't even show the full context. Okay? Because right before this, I'm actually arguing with a chatter who says rapes did not happen. Why are you saying that they did? And I'm saying that there is a likelihood that rapes did happen on October 7, but that doesn't justify genocide. Okay? Here's the original clip. Oh, here. Evidence. There is, however, evidence. There is, however, real evidence as far as like first-hand accounts and testimony, even second-hand accounts and testimony from hostages. So that part is real. That did happen, which is very important, and that was a part of the UN investigation that was conducted. So that's also a broader conversation about like the UN investigation. Okay, the full 12-minute clip. Richie Torres tweeted about me. Oh, you know. No, just go to the original. We got to find the original, not just like, because like the original keep seething. Oh, I'm seething, man. I'm so mad. Can you tell? Look at how mad I am. Oh my God. The right-wing propaganda outlet that has written about me on numerous occasions is upset at me again. Oh, I'm fuming. I'm fuming. I'm seething. My face of, unbridled rage. Here, let me see if we can find the actual VOD that it's from. Bro, calm down. I can't. I'm shaking. I'm shaking with anger. Be a little mad. I feel bad for them. Oh, the VOD timestamp. Oh, here. But if the conclusive evidence is coming from Zakah or the Israeli government or the Israeli police force claiming that they have a mountain of evidence. Because remember, the Israeli police force said they had a mountain of evidence. So this is an assessment over the validity of the claims that systemic rape happened in the hands of Hamas on October 7. There has been no such evidence for this. And, there has been plenty of reporting, including, but not limited to, even New York Times' own journalists leaking to the press that their screams without words coverage that detailed and genuinely editorialized like October 7, claiming that mass rapes had happened in the hands of Hamas militants and it was directed by Hamas, was not meeting the editorial standard of the paper of record. Okay, this is my slander would kill my self-esteem. I don't know how you do it. I just know I'm on the right side of history, and I know that at this stage, most people understand that this is the one method that many people have that want to defend Israel will then just instead of actually like openly defending Israel when it's like very clearly indefensible, people will then turn around and just say like, oh no, all the naysayers are actually doing it for some cynical anti-Semitic purposes. That's it. Most people know, most people understand it. At this stage, if you have seen the genuine human toll, if you've seen the casualties, if you've seen the tents on fire, if you've seen the Israeli government bomb elderly people trying to get flour and bring it back to their houses, and you read this article and you go, yeah, this guy seems like a real vicious anti-Semite with all of these stupid ass clips out of context. Like, yeah, no, it's just a hit piece. And most people understand where Fox News is coming from. Yeah, what they were clipping, what? They're clipping this. Stop around. Okay, here, this is the full context. I think this was the full context. I think this is when I had no evidence whatsoever. It's ridiculous. Like first, wait, where I pull up a chatter? Oh, here. What do you mean? So a chatter comes in and says, how do you dismiss accounts of kerosene and burning, but do not dismiss sexual violence? Okay. And I tell them the reason why I don't dismiss offhandedly incidents of sexual violence on both October 7 and beyond. And I'll explain exactly why here. There is no evidence whatsoever for one. It is completely and utterly made up. But there is a likelihood for the other, and also evidence as far as firsthand testimony from a hostage. That's the difference. Anyway, the problem, however, is that given the intensity and proclivity for the Israeli state to lie about things like this, and also other like non-professional forensic accounting being conducted on October 7, this has muddied the waters so much that understandably many people are like, what the fuck? How am I going to believe this? How am I supposed to believe anything that Israel says? There's a perfectly valid criticism to have against the state that has lied every single step of the way. Many hostages have records of saying two different things. Also, how are you sure Israel didn't force them to lie? That's ridiculous. By the way, none of which justifies Israel's actions. So it doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like, the Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets, and there's no criminal elements that could have conducted themselves very differently. Like that doesn't change the dynamic for me at all. It's so stupid to act like, no, they're perfect. They were perfect on October 7, and they were conducted themselves perfectly. But these kinds of stories delegitimize Palestinian resistance? No, it does not. What the fuck are you talking about? No, you think it delegitimizes Palestinian resistance. Okay? You think so. I don't. The fuck? That's why this is so silly. Like, it is an ongoing conversation that I'm having with someone who is saying, no, rapes definitely did not occur. And why are you even saying that they might have occurred? Okay. And they clipped 17 seconds of that to say, they clipped 17 seconds of that to literally claim falsely that I'm saying like, oh yeah, Palestinians are raping as a form of resistance. They imply. They said, it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th, Piker said in a May 22nd stream. It doesn't change the dynamic of Palestinians and Israelis for me. Which is, again, yes, that is literally my assessment. Yes, I do not think that sexual assault occurring I do not think that sexual assault occurring justifies genocide. I don't. You cannot engage in ethnic cleansing because sexual assault happened. That is psychotic. So yeah, I think I'm valid. Okay? If you were to look at that clip in that short period of time and say, oh, Palestinians were doing resistance rapes and Hasan thinks that's good, then you're an idiot. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's crazy. Piker, a 33-year-old Turkish-American commentator who lives in California and grew up in Istanbul, is a former producer for the far-left internet commentary program, The Young Turks, and is the nephew of its co-creator, Shaky Gurga. His Twitch streams regularly hit over 1 million views, often have as many as 30,000 viewers at a given time. The political commentator has a cult-like leader status among his fans and maintains a Discord server with 125,000 dedicated followers. Many are almost certainly very young, and the minimum age to join Twitch and Discord is 13. A 2022 Pew study found that 22% of teenage boys use Twitch, and a 2020 Statista report revealed 34% of Twitch users are between the ages of 10 and 19. If they think that my audience is between the ages of 10 and 19, they're delusional. We actually have demographics for that. My audience is much older than that. But let's continue. In addition to his massive following on Twitch, Piker has millions more followers on Instagram and X. On YouTube, he regularly posts his Twitch streams to his 1.45 million subscribers. In a recent stream, Piker broadcast propaganda from the Houthis, an Iranian-backed group in Yemen that has been designated by the U.S. as a terrorist group. Instead of explicitly addressing the materials as questionable propaganda, the streamer instead expressed sympathy and admiration for the group. In the stream, which was posted on September 28th, Piker showed fellow Twitch streamer Nick Pollum a Houthi musical released by the militant group and said it was an act of resistance. Now, I can't show you the full context of the clip on this one because I did get a warning for this. So obviously, I don't want to get banned for showing the context of this music video. But as someone who routinely wears MAGA hats, as someone who has routinely shown the music video, Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump, leading up to the election, I show a litany of different musicals from a variety of different political perspectives. If you were to compare this to, I don't know, ISIS propaganda videos, you would be wrong. There is obviously a very clear difference there, okay? This is a diss track by the Yemeni population against the Saudi government and the Saudi genocide that was being conducted, the UAE and Saudi America-backed genocide that was happening in Yemen. This was to showcase to Nick Pollum over a 5-hour conversation about the dynamic between resistance groups and the way that they're covered and all this shit and the people that are on the receiving end of the bombing campaigns. So they clipped this and said they do musicals about like their actions all the time, Piker said, of the terrorist propaganda. They love walking over the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. I did say that. They do not care about the heavy missiles. They will literally take the war to them no matter what. For them, it's an act of resistance. You know what I mean, he added. During the same stream, Piker broadcast propaganda video of armed Houthi terrorists seizing a cargo ship and expressed admiration for the group. They're flexing, Piker said. You have to understand, this is a deterrent. Their goal is to film it and show it to the world. So they have to massage this with statements like this when what I'm talking about there is, pretty obvious, pretty clear. Yes, they openly stated their desires for why they wanted to implement a blockade on the Red Sea. America institutes blockades all the time, and that is seen as a perfectly valid and perfectly normal, perfectly permissible situation. These guys, regardless of their own internal dynamics, regardless of their own personal politics that I clearly do not agree with, I'm explaining what their framework is, and I'm offering analysis, okay? But these people, unfortunately, don't want that. There is no room for any sort of analysis whatsoever. There is never any room for analysis. You must not talk about some of the logical steps that any kind of group, non-state actor or even state actors, in this case, this is a state actor, that engages, that any sort of non-state actor or state actor engages in that is outside of the periphery of America. If they are declared foreign adversaries, God forbid you offer any sort of analysis whatsoever. If you do that, that means you love terrorism. That means you agree with every single thing that they've ever done or every single thing that they've ever said. Okay? I know. What is this? You ordered like a fruit tray? Okay, 2 of them got refunded. No fresh cut tray and no vegetable dip tray. Only the fruit tray was found. Okay. Anyway, Hassan's worst enemy fruit. Yeah, Hamas fruit basket coming in. Paulum did not respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment about the exchanges with Piker. That's pretty funny that they try to get a comment from Nick Paulum. Piker often and passionately defends the anti-imperialist motivations of Middle Eastern terrorist groups. During a stream uploaded to YouTube on October 13th, 2023, Piker berated a viewer who challenged his position on the then nascent Israel-Hamas war. You want every single Palestinian to be executed ruthlessly on the streets so that you can build another theme park on Gaza. You baying pig. You bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. Piker argued, suck my dick. That actually, didn't that go viral on TikTok too? Yeah. I said, you don't want solutions. You don't want to understand why this violence happens. I do. Okay. You just want to say, nope, they're barbaric, violent monsters that have no reason to do what they're doing and instead are operating on the boundaries of unlimited anti-Semitism and omega violence that they want to engage in. There is no reason for people to, feel a certain type of way about a nation state that is an apartheid, that is currently conducting a genocide that has dominated the Palestinian population for 75 years. Once again, analysis not allowed. Though Piker says he's not aligned with Hamas and called October 7 attacks one of the most unjustifiable, unimaginable, and ongoing acts of cruelty shortly after they began, his rhetoric has become more extreme since the Israel-Hamas war began, and he routinely defends violent Palestinian actors from any criticism. This part is really good. I don't feel comfortable placing the blame of a violent settler colony that has killed and displaced tens of millions of Palestinians on Palestine. I don't feel like it's appropriate to lay the blame in the hands of anyone that is resisting against their own brutal occupation, Piker said in an October 19th YouTube video about the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. During an April 18th stream, Piker expressed that Hamas was the lesser evil next to the Israeli military. Now, this part I really like. Why do I really like this? Because they put my full quote in here, and it is objectively true. Hamas, unironically, is the lesser evil of the two, the streamer said. If you look at the civilian casualties, if you look at the civilian deaths versus the deaths of soldiers, Hamas's percentages are infinitely better than Israel. That's just facts. So, no, Hamas is the lesser evil. It's true. Why are you posterizing my dubs on Fox News? It's correct. That is objectively correct. There is no lie told there. You cannot look at the numbers on the board and act like I'm saying anything that is false here. That's why I really like this article, for the record, because they didn't do the classic, like they did the bad faith framing. They did the classic clip chimping, all of that stuff, clips out of context, whatever. And that stuff I can, showcase the truth on. But if they're just going to show my honest perspective, then yeah, I'm there. Yeah, you can disagree with it, but I guess that would mean that you have to disagree with the truth. Later, Piker implied that Hamas fighters had no responsibility for the mass killings and rapes they carried out on October 7. You agree, October 7, and the responsibility of October 7 and all the actions that took place are directly in the hands of the Israeli state, Piker said to a chatter. I'm glad. Yeah. Yes. The claim, the intensity of the violence, the standard of the violence is always set by the oppressor. That is how the standard is set. And that is how Palestinian resistance has evolved throughout time. Another long and complicated conversation that is being had about imperialism, apartheid, settler colonialism, reduced to one clip. You're an idiot. Okay? I stand by that as well. Yes, the standard of violence in any conflict is set by the powerful party. It's true. Having these conversations in an academic setting is perfectly valid. I also obviously have, a different tone that I take. Sometimes I like to crack jokes, right? But overall, the analysis is still the same. And it's something that I absolutely agree with. Yeah, I agree with me, Hasanabi. Exactly. I do agree with me. Do you think they realize this doesn't make you look bad? No, this is to a Fox News audience that is never going to. This is going to a Fox News audience. They're never going to. Like, the people that read this are already primed to be like, yeah, I hate that piece of shit. Or I hate any naysayer against the beautiful state of Israel. How dare they? So they're just going to see this as additional reason to continue to be like, I hate this guy. During the same stream, Piker joked that 9/11/2 would be, sick, while discussing the U.S. making a civil nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia. So I want to show you guys, this part was really funny because they reached out to me for comment on this and I didn't respond to it because I wanted them to put it in the article and I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see what they were saying that I wanted. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. 1 second. Okay. Hold on. Because they're Fox News, not their editorial staff, but they're like real, they're real, traditional reporting side. While they do hit pieces like this, they still have a journalistic standard that they have to uphold. And in that process, they very obviously were, hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay, hold on here. It's from a VOD. They sent a Hasanabi fan VOD as well. God, they're so stupid. Hold on. So on its face, it obviously still doesn't make sense. During the same stream, Piker joked that 9/11/2 would be so sick while discussing the U.S. making a civil nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia. Oh my God, 9/11/2 is going to be so sick, the streamer said. Give Saudi Arabia a nuke so they can do 9/11/2. I wonder what I meant when I was talking about that. I wonder if I was being sarcastic or if I was being genuine. From the people that brought you glazing Mohammed bin Salman comes this very weird statement. Fox News is pro Saudi Arabia. I am not. But here, let's watch the actual video so you get a better understanding of what I was saying in the process of criticizing. It says in the same sentence above the link that you were joking. I know, but there's a difference between how I was joking and how they're implying I'm joking. They're making it seem as though I am excited at the prospect of another 9/11, that I want to die in a 9/11/2. Okay? That's not the joke. The joke is, why the fuck would you give the 9/11 country nuclear arms? Okay? Hold on. Fox News hitting the hold on. Let me pull it up. It's great. Like I said, because of their interest in doing like some level of honest journalism, even if they don't always actually hit that standard, Fox News still obviously portrays things in a much better way, in a much more honest way than like some random dumbass Redditor does, which is why I think this didn't meet the standards that they were trying to get. Okay, so hold on. What is this? At around 3:29:13, he joked that 9/11/2 would be so sick. 3:29. Oh, here. But they also simultaneously say UN is Hamas. It's like, bitch, if UN is Hamas, then no more Israel, I guess. What do you mean? Where did that Israeli chatter go? The United States is making a fresh push for the state of Israel to accept the Palestinian state in exchange for recognition by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In exchange for recognizing Israel, the United States is offering Saudi Arabia a more formal defense relationship and assistance in acquiring civil nuclear power. Yes, let's go. Give Saudi Arabia the nukes, bro. Get dude. Get, baby. Nuclear proliferation for Saudi Arabia pronto. Okay? Let's go. Get, dude. A little bit of YOLO mode. Dude, oh my God, 9/11/2 is going to be so sick. Give Saudi Arabia a nuke so they can do 9/11/2. It's Jover. Whoo! Let's go, baby. Let's go. If you look at this and you go, wow, he is sincere. He's joking in that direction because he likes the potential for nuclear proliferation. You're a sociopath. I am in the process of criticizing America for offering nuclear proliferation to Saudi Arabia. What the? Oh, 9/11/2 will be done with nukes. I'm calling it now, okay? 9/11/2 Electric Boogaloo with the family atomics. Even the video section that they got this clip from is titled LOL. Think we'll deserve that one too? Bitch, what do you mean? We are literally initiating the steps of our own demise, okay? No. Yeah, I'm saying we will have brought it on ourselves. You are watching it. Oh, that's pretty damaging, bro. Yeah, it's pretty damaging that if you're criticizing American foreign policy that will inevitably cause blowback once again, you are not allowed to be sarcastic when talking about it. You're right. You're right. Pretty damaging, bro. Shut up, you nerd. Suck my dick. So funny. It's my favorite type of person that just like looks at something that is obviously insincere and goes, well, this doesn't fit my narrative, so I think I'm going to assume cynically that you are being sincere. This is a sincerely held belief that you have. Yeah, dude, I want to die in a nuclear holocaust. That's what I want. People will be like, what do you mean? We're doing it now. There's no way they found that clip from April on their own. No, I know where they got these clips from, but it's all good. Like I said, it's an assortment of takes that I don't think portray much of the things I'm saying in a bad light at all. You can only feel like you only read this article and think, oh, this is a real bad dude, if you already are primed into thinking that anyone who is against Israel is doing so with hatred in their hearts against Jewish people or something. Okay, that's it. That's it. You agree October 7th and the responsibility of October 7th and the actions. Okay. Oh my God. 9/11/2. Hezbollah, a group that the U.S. State Department blames for the 1938 Beirut barracks bombings that killed 241 American personnel, is also discussed in Piker's videos, where the commentator downplays the organization's status as a terrorist organization. If Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, then America is the top terrorist organization, Piker said during a September 17th stream, which it is, by the way. America is the top dog in terrorism, and so is Israel. Again, thank you for posting this. Thank you. Because it's correct. It's true. And the only thing that stops people from understanding the truth of the matter is just people being like, no, I don't agree. Terrorism is when brown people do stuff that we do to brown people. And yeah, it was a military barrack, but you know, that's besides the point. During a stream that Pollum posted on September 28th, Piker admitted that he did not have an issue with Hezbollah, which the U.S. considers a terrorist organization. Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament, Piker explained. Do we like them or no? Pollum asked. I think it's a resistance group, Piker replied. They're pretty successful against Israel, but everybody hates them. Everybody in the region. ... I don't have an issue with them. In January, by the way, if you think that this is like the entirety of my perspective on Hezbollah, well, I've had academics on this particular subject numerous times on this broadcast, and of course, I do not agree with Hezbollah's own internal conduct or the way that they operate against certain Lebanese factions or whatever. But in the framework of resisting against Israel, yes, they are very successful, and that's the reason why Israel assassinated Hassan Nasrallah and killed a shit ton of civilians in Beirut in the process, and still continues to do so. That is objectively correct. Let's continue. In January, Piker platformed a teenage Houthi sympathizer. He likened, at least they are not saying he's a Houthi, by the way. Yeah, everyone is a Houthi sympathizer in Yemen now because that is the standing government. Okay, so that's number one. But at least they're not being like, oh, the Houthis. Has Nick texted you about this yet? No, he hasn't. I don't even think he's seen it, but I don't think he gives a shit. Anyway, in January, Piker platformed the teenage Houthi sympathizer he likened to an acclaimed actor, Timothée Chalamet, due to his appearance. That wasn't just me. That was everyone in the media that was doing that. The stream was uploaded to YouTube under interviewing Yemeni Timothée Chalamet. Piker jokingly called the Yemeni guest Tim Houthi as a play on the name Timothy. The stream was unrelated to the actor, and the Twitch host made no claims that Chalamet supported any of the positions discussed in the video. Okay? The interview subject, Rashid al-Haddad, denies being a Houthi fighter. I'm glad that they also, again, they're a news outlet, so they can't, they're still doing real news coverage here. Okay? Do you understand what I mean? Fox News loves to editorialize, and the editorial team is insane, but their actual standalone journalism, albeit still massages the truth, but still very openly communicates the actual reality. Denies being a Houthi fighter, but has gained notoriety for hopping on a ship captured by the Houthis and posing as one of the militants. Al-Haddad has been banned from both TikTok and X for appearing to support the Houthis. At one point in the interview, Piker asked Al-Haddad through an Arabic translator if he watched an anime called One Piece, which his young audience would relate to. Then the militant responded in the affirmative. Piker praised them. No way, sick. Yes, Piker said. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh, wow. I can't believe I'm talking to a 19-year-old from Yemen who's only experienced genocide his entire life and humanizing him. How unacceptable. Now, if you look back at that interview, and this part I have talked about extensively, but once again, I will right now, a lot of people were frustrated, okay? I still maintain that even if he was a Houthi militant, okay, which at the time still had not been designated a terror group, it was going to take a month after Operation Prosperity Guardian started, where Biden Biden put them back on the Ansar Allah movement and on the terror watch list, alongside many former leaders like Nelson Mandela, who was on the terror watch list until 2008. Just a reminder, the IRA was on the terror watch list, the ANC was on the terror watch list and was a terror group. Nelson Mandela was considered a terrorist on the terror watch list until 2008. Just a reminder for every single person what the terror watch list consists of. FLN, also a terrorist organization that liberated liberated Algeria. So just remember the political designation of the terror watch list. So anyway, let's continue. So I maintain the position that it would have been valid journalism even if he was an Ansar Allah fighter directly. Okay, even if he was an Ansar Allah fighter directly, I still maintain that there was journalistic value to having a conversation with someone like that, to figure out how they've arrived at this position, to figure out how they became a militant, part of a militant faction. I maintain the position that it is valid journalism to do that, and many other infinitely braver journalists than myself have been able to conduct such interviews. Hind Hasan of Vice News comes to mind. She is the last person in the Western media apparatus that was able to interview Yahya Sinwar, okay? If you don't think that there is any serious journalistic value to interviewing a guy like Yahya Sinwar, you're wrong. I disagree with you. We can have a serious conversation about what constitutes real journalism and what does not. But I think what she did was not only incredibly brave, but incredibly valuable. Okay? That's it. Now, if this person was straightforwardly a Ansar Allah militant, and I did ask him about this, and he said he wasn't, and the dynamic changed for me, at least, in trying to understand where this person was coming from, given the issues with translation. We were doing our very best here. I did not want him to think that I was inherently hostile to his position. I also, especially once I realized that he wasn't a militant anyway, then yes, I focused more so on humanizing him. Okay? That's it. Dr. Phil has glazed and interviewed a war criminal such as Bibi Netanyahu. The f*** are we talking about here? I didn't see no hit pieces on that shit. How many American media outlets have interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu? It is ridiculous. Okay? Yeah. Here's Hind Hasan. This was my interview with Lama Al-Arian. It was his last ever on-camera interview. Everyone told us he was hiding. It was just days after an assassination attempt. During 11 days of Israeli bombardment in 2021, we found him walking down the street, so we stopped him and asked him for an interview. Some additional info. We found him walking in Jabalia. After we introduced ourselves and asked for an interview, he said he would consider it and that he would be in touch. Later, Hamas contact got in touch with the team and arranged a time and location. The interview was for Vice News. Fox News has interviewed MBS. I guess no issues there, though, because MBS and Saudi Arabia, despite the violent actions that they've engaged with, are within the American sphere of influence. So no matter how violent they may get, no matter what their, no matter what the actions that they've taken in Yemen specifically, something that the liberal media apparatus was extremely critical of because Donald Trump was in support of Saudi Arabia's genocide in Yemen, but they've quickly snapped back from that position since then because Joe Biden is president now and he's doing Operation Prosperity Guardian. The problem is you humanize them, and that's unacceptable. Exactly. That is the issue. Okay? The issue is I humanized a 19-year-old who's only known genocide. Okay? This is not true. People interview Putin all the time, and it's not normal. Exactly. Tucker Carlson glazed Vladimir Putin. If you think that a 19-year-old who I asked directly if they were anti-Semitic, and they said, no, I am in support of anyone that is critical of Israel. Okay, if you think that that person is at the same level as Vladimir Putin or Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden, you are delusional, or Mohammed bin Salman even, or Benjamin Netanyahu, you are delusional. Yeah, Chris Wallace interviews Russian President Vladimir Putin. That's crazy. The only way this works is if you think brown guy, scary, arch terrorist, I'm terrified, you. And many people, unfortunately, do have that attitude. Many people, unfortunately, do feel that way. So we just have to work with it. We just have to deal with it. Okay? Just a reminder. Sounds like that dude was just a random Yemeni kid. Yes. No way, sick. Yes. He said that so far. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do, Piker said. Luffy is a protagonist of the anime, and Ansar Allah translates to supporters of God, which is what the Houthis refer to themselves as. Later during the exchange, the translator ominously said that Al-Haddad likes adventures and is a big supporter of a Palestinian state, and he's looking to bigger and more exciting things. What does he have to say about the dumbasses that consider him to be a terrorist, Piker asked. What does he think about that? I just banned one of those stupid in the chat right now. He says, who are they? The translator replied, he's like dismissing them. To which Piker responded, respect. Ominously. Bro, my parents are going to think I'm a terrorist after looking at this. They know I watch you. You'll be fine. That pic with Dan Clancy is not even the same pic. Yeah. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy once said he was a fan of Hasan Piker. Piker was temporarily banned from Twitch 3 times between 2019 and 2022, including once for using the term cracker. His first ban occurred after he claimed that America deserved 9/11 during a stream. Twitch has not publicly addressed Piker's comments, but in a 2023 interview with Bloomberg News, Twitch's CEO Dan Clancy acknowledged being a fan of the streamer. I like his frankness and bluntness. He's comfortable saying what he believes. In 2020, Twitch banned former President Donald Trump, citing hateful content. Additionally, the platform's community guidelines state that Twitch does not allow comments that depicts, glorifies, encourages, or supports terrorism or violent extremist actors or acts. In a statement to Fox News Digital, Piker said he has a strong, positive relationship with Twitch and disputes the idea that his streams violate the terms of service. The assortment of short, out-of-context clips, by the way, look how far down the article is where my comments come in. The assortment of short, out-of-context clips from 8-hour deep dives into complex geopolitical issues are deliberately cut to associate me with a perspective that I do not hold, Piker said. In my experience, Twitch's fantastic trust and safety team upholds a rigorous moderation standard to combat hate speech and make it clear that hate has no place on the platform. I stand by that. It's unfortunate that some are twisting my content to fit a narrative that doesn't align with my values or the work I've done over the years. His statement said. Piker also said that Twitch had given him a warning about one of his Houthi videos. By way of example, the Houthi video, which captures Yemeni people showing resilience amid a humanitarian crisis, is viewed on most social media platforms except Twitch, the commentator said. After receiving a warning about this content from Twitch moderation, I have not since shared it. Twitch is also known to have other problematic users. One of Piker's associates, a streamer known as Frogan, recently mocked U.S. veterans over a Twitch stream on October 13th. The U.S. military service members that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but I know it's wrong. You don't deserve the PTSD, the streamer who posts content about being a Muslim woman said. But like any other motherfucker you. I hope you get PTSD. Rogan later admitted on X that her remarks were worded poorly and said that her comments were made out of frustration as they are currently bombing my family in the name of liberation. She was given a 30-day ban for the comments. She actually wasn't given a 30-day ban for those comments. That would have been more valid than what she actually got a ban for. Why do people hate you so much? Because people would rather shoot the messenger than understand the message. Also, Frogan doesn't post content about being a Muslim woman. She just is a Muslim woman. You're right. And the real reason why she got banned is so stupid that even Fox News was like, yeah, she got banned for a good reason and not this other silly reason. Chris Ruby, a social media expert and the founder of Ruby Media Group, told Fox News Digital that both Frogan and Piker's comments are problematic. Problematic from Fox News. Thanks. If you're talking about terrorist organizations, that's not protected speech under terms of service, Ruby said. I think a lot of this falls under violent rhetoric. Ruby also cautioned about the influence that Twitch could have on young viewers, especially viewers who are attached to certain streamers. She recently witnessed the power of the platform after a Twitch streamer entered an X space she was in, bringing in hundreds of fans. The streamer had millions of followers. That level of affinity for celebrity was greater than almost any other social media platform I've seen, she described. Thank you, once again, showcasing the power of Twitch. Why do people feel they have such a close relationship with live streamers in a way that is even more close than other platforms? Anything with algorithmic gamification and video games are addictive to our youth, Ruby said of Twitch. Video games are one of the number one ways that you can get to the hearts and minds of the youth. Kara Frederick, director of the Tech Policy Center at the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, guys, I'm both problematic and also am getting yelled at by the Heritage Foundation. Remember, the people that brought you Project 2025, okay? The Project 2025's very own Heritage Foundation. American terrorists in their own, domestic terrorists in their own right, okay? Just so you know. Hasan absolutely is promoting terrorist propaganda, Frederick said. You have to put it in the context of the Houthis, who he's sympathizing with. They are actively attacking U.S. ships in the Red Sea. At that point, you become a terrorist sympathizer. So it's not educational. It is cheerleading for terrorism against the United States. Twitch made recent headlines after users in Israel were disabled from signing up on Twitch for over a year after the October 7th attacks, but the company apologized and remedied the error on October 21st of this year. Richie Torres has become a vocal critic of the platform and sent a letter to Clancy on October 29th calling to stop popularizing those who popularize anti-Semitism. So the thing I have to say...
Okay, let's go now to the story.
What
that
is
your
this?
Kids
Chris Ruby is straight up a right-wing PR merchant who will shill anything on TV, best known for promoting Mr. Beast bars. Oh, that's amazing.
The 20...
Thanks for being here. All right, explain it to us. What do we need to know about Mr. Beast?
So what is really interesting about Mr. Beast is his rise to fame and social media stardom. One thing that's fascinating is, unlike other social media influencers, he really has such an emphasis and focus on...
This woman said I was being problematic. Anyway, where was I? Let's get back to it. One question that remains in this circumstance is if, like, the dynamic will shift for a lot of people who are liberal, progressive, like-minded individuals. When they see Fox News echoing this sentiment, will they maybe take a deep breath and go, perhaps Keemstar, Fox News, and a whole bunch of right-wing drama farmers are being on my side is evidence that maybe the side that I'm on has led me to be misguided. Will they say that? Or will they go, nope, I'm loving Fox News, baby. I'm loving Keemstar. I'm loving Fox News. I'm a fan. We'll see. We'll see. I hope that at least like in the, in the H3 fandom, okay, that this will cause some self-reflection amongst those who maybe understand that Fox News is a right-wing propaganda operation and that echoing the same exact sentiments that Ethan was engaging in will maybe snap some people out of it. Probably not, though. So that's the end of the article. One of the fallacies of a free society, free speech is absolutely necessary for everyone. I believe not that individuals intent on undermining or destroying that society or nation. When a person advocates for violence, they do not deserve to be allowed to live in this country or any country. I like that this guy is saying that my violent sentiment requires me to be killed. Providing direct or indirect support for a terrorist organization, a felony that carries 20 years, can be linked to treason charges. Look, folks, the best way to think about all these dead Gazas is that they're just post-birth abortions. The IDF is merely providing women's reproductive health services. But quid pro quo Joe removed President Trump's designation of Houthis as a terrorist organization. Then in a brilliant move, quid pro Joe reinstated Houthis as a terrorist organization after they started attacking U.S. ships. You don't know what material support means. Speech is not material support. We live in the United States, not anti-freedom Canada or UK. We don't want hate speech laws here. While I'd love to live in a world where this is true, I think providing support via speech doesn't count and protected by the First Amendment. Would a positive puff piece interview with a terrorist qualify? I'm not sure. Yeah. The brilliant minds of the right-wing Fox News readership trying to figure out ways in which, it's actually totally fine to maybe just this once not allow an American citizen to have free speech. Finally, I've sent numerous reports about this guy's channel over the past year. Twitch did nothing. Maybe this time he'll get banned for good on all platforms. The CEO likes him and doesn't care that he supports a terrorist group. He should have been permanently banned when he said America deserved 9/11, but was only temporarily banned. The CEO says that he likes that he's comfortable saying what he believes, but they also banned Donald Trump for hateful content. Well, Donald Trump's back on the platform. I do not believe personally that like a 78-year-old man who found this article knows this much about Twitch, okay? Cynical Dan. This should get Hasan permanently banned, but they won't because he's one of the largest streamers on the platform. How is he not in jail other than Democrats' recent adoption of violent rhetoric? Okay, the First Amendment allows for free speech. However, calling for 9/11 is a threat. This is false. He never said that. The author is taking a comment he made and twisting it around. Baron for Pres MAGA. Why? This is why she did not embed a video of him saying it, because it doesn't exist. If he said it, it would be all over and other political commentators would be speaking about it. We don't see that happening because it doesn't exist, lol. He did not call for a 9/11 This is a false accusation, says Hank Piker. He said he would love for it to happen, walking a fine line, but he's still fanning the flames. He was being sarcastic. Come on, watch the clip to get his tone or don't chirp. Lies like these promote hate and will lead to more domestic terrorism. Hey, Twitch genius, rifle deer hunting season opens on Saturday, November 23rd, in my jurisdiction. Would you like to go out in the woods with me for a day of adventure? I promise it could be life-changing for you. Pair him up with Dick Cheney. This guy wants to be alone with Mr. Piker in the woods for a day of adventure. Gay. Yeah, he wants to suck my dick in the woods, dude, away from God's eyes, okay? Don't you think Twitch/Amazon is stupid enough to think that they need to take action since this is snowballing? ADL, Taurus, Fogs? No. Guys, I need you to understand something, okay? This kind of propaganda hit piece from the likes of Fox News is one step above the dish rag that is like New York Post. It's basically a reframing of the same article that New York Post wrote a while ago. Okay. Having said that, however, like this does not change the dynamic even a little bit. I think everybody, and I think they did a pretty decent job with some exceptions. Okay. I think they did a pretty decent job of showcasing the breadth of my argument with some exceptions. Okay. But this is the reason why I pointed to this. Like, this is not the first time Fox News wrote about me. On October 21st, socialist Twitch star Hasan Piker raises $1 million for Palestinian aid. Money raised through Twitch campaign will support Palestinian medical relief, streamer says. So they said that this was also unacceptable. Okay? Piker did not respond to an interview request from Fox News about the fundraiser. A self-described socialist, Hasan Piker is one of the most watched streamers on Twitch. He's been a vocal critic of the, in air quotes, colonial apartheid and accuses Israel of imposing on Palestinians. In a recent stream, he unleashed profanity-laden tirade justifying Hamas's invasion. If they subjugated you to an open-air prison your whole life, you're going to break out eventually when you realize that there's no way to get out of it, Piker said. Do you think this happened out of nowhere? Do you think this happened out of thin air? Are you stupid? Do you think that the Israeli state was just like peacefully coexisting and these guys just came with gladiators out of nowhere? So it's not the last nor the first time that these guys are going to do this. Oh yeah, here was the clip that went viral, by the way, that has been around. This is October 8th, 2023, okay?
Do you think that this happened out of nowhere? Do you think this happened out of thin air? Are you stupid? Do you think the Israeli state was just like peacefully coexisting and then these guys came in with gliders out of nowhere? Don't say fuck off, dude. They didn't deserve it, you idiot. My goal is solutions. Your goal is the continuation of violence. You want way more than 260 people dying. You want every single Palestinian to be executed ruthlessly in the streets so that you can build another theme park in Gaza. You baying pig. You bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. Suck my dick. How do you think this happens? You think it happens out of nowhere? You think these people are just like, oh, we were violent because we want to be violent? You think that's where violence culminates from? Or do you think it's because you have entrapped them, you have bullied them, you have subjugated them, you have humiliated these people? 2 million people live inside of Gaza. They're not even people in the eyes of Israelis. 2 million. The average age is 18 years old. 57% unemployment. They can't even get concrete inside of Gaza so they can build water salination plants because 97% of their water is toxic. They're dying of mass starvation. You cannot push people into a corner their whole lives and not expect them to fight back at a certain point. Suck my dick. You piece of shit. You and others like you who turn a blind eye to apartheid, genocide, and ethnic cleansing are the reasons as to why these people fight back.
Worth pointing out that for all their hand-wringing about influencing the impressionable youth, they've had Andrew Tate on actual Fox News broadcasts as a guest without ever critiquing his influence over the impressionable youth. Only applies to you, apparently. Yeah, of course. I mean, guys. They say I've glazed terrorist supporters. They say I'm a terrorist supporter. They have also offered positive interviews to Mohammed bin Salman, to Benjamin Netanyahu over and over again. Okay? It does not matter.
So much so that you cackling hyenas sit around and think, oh yeah, we're doing this in the West Bank too. That's the Peaceful Coexistence Project. Look at the West Bank. You're doing it in the West Bank so hard now that you left your ass out in the open in the southern border of Israel.
This is the clip. I'm not usually sharing your worldview, but this video says it all. Yeah. I stand by this. Fox News can try to do a cancel culture campaign all day, every day. Yeah, this was a correct take.
Become more
oh, shit.
apparent. There is no way to have a fascist coalition because endless militant conquest always ends up failing. So if you care about your fellow Israelis, if you care about Jewish people living in Israel, if you care about humanity, even if you do not have a moral position against apartheid, which you should because you're a human, right? You're a human, and it's disgusting to not have a moral anger and moral outrage, not demonstrate moral outrage at the sheer thought of an apartheid state. Think about it from a more pessimistic, more cynical, but self-interested perspective then. Dog.
What I don't get is why is this happening now when this has been happening for over a year and no one's outrage has been properly thrown at the Israeli government? Brother, Israelis by the tens of thousands literally protested in the streets, and American media was looking at that and being like, they're playing into the hands of Hamas. Israeli media has routinely, and I don't mean just like 972 magazine, local call. There are fantastic investigative reporters inside of Israel that are anti-Zionist in their framework and routinely criticize Israel and do fantastic investigative reporting. But even like liberal Zionist papers or even right-wing papers inside of Israel have offered better coverage on all of the things that are going on and all the chaos that's going on the ground in Israel than American media. And for many, one of the contributors of the Fox article wrote a guide on how to fight against cancel culture and defend your brand. Cancel culture was a key theme at the 2020 Republican National Convention, but is it a real worry for brands? This branding expert says yes. Oh, wow. Chris Ruby, the person who wrote articles about cancel culture, now participating in cancel culture. I'm shocked. Color me surprised. Anyway, unless you tens of thousands a little high now, I know there were groups, but not that many. No, there were people who were protesting the release of the hostages and saying that a ceasefire must occur for the hostages to be released, and that Benjamin Netanyahu was standing against it. At the time, the American perspective on the matter was very different. America was still going along with the false notion that it was actually Hamas that was over the deals. Hostage family members openly gave quotes to Israeli media talking about how Benjamin Netanyahu and his imperial ambitions in the Gaza Strip are the reason why we can't see our family members. What do these hippies have to do for you to get lawyers involved? Come on, brother. This shit is glazing me. Are you crazy? And also, Fox News is going to write hit pieces all day, every day. I'm not a litigious person to begin with, okay? I don't give a fuck. Okay? Yeah, and Fox News also wrote this article back then when I raised multiple millions of dollars for Palestinian aid in the early months of October. And guess what? They said it gets into the hands of Hamas back then. So it doesn't move the needle. It's not serious. As long as adversarial reporting, right-wing reporting actually covers the full scope of my commentary, and I think does a decent job of portraying my perspective, then I'm fine with that. You know? Hold on. I'm going to say I love this article because if you think Israel's ultimately a force for good and everyone against its violence is ontologically evil, you read it very differently than most normal people would. Especially after a year of unlimited genocide. The Palestinians' occupation. Lebanon. Anyway, so it's socialism or barbarism. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I don't think I don't think that this will be a mover and shaker for people who are already primed to hate me. You know what I mean? But it's not changing the dynamic for anybody, really. It's not changing anyone else's perspective. This is what a lot of defenders of Israel don't understand. You can shit on and try to silence every critic of Israel all day, every day, but it's too late. People know what the fuck is going on. Okay? That's it. I'm not sure what I was expecting anything other than a standard hit piece. Of course. Anyway. You shaved your pits? Yeah, I did. The White House is saying anyone who votes to withhold weapons from Israel or Hamas, I saw that. They're insane. But yeah.